Hello everyone and welcome back to Deathtrap Dungeon. When we last left off, we have actually managed to upgrade our character a tiny bit. We are down on stamina quite severely, significantly, which is not great. But we have also made a friend, kind of, an ally. We have met the other barbarian competitor that is still alive, that entered after us. And it seems that we have joined forces for the moment at least. So let's see how that goes. Although we are slightly uneasy in each other's company, knowing that there can only be one winner in the Trial of Champions, we are both content to share in the benefits of a temporary alliance. That's right, that makes perfect sense. We begin to tell each other of our exploits so far, of the monsters and traps encountered and the dangers overcome. Walking along, we soon come to the edge of a wide pit. It is too deep and too dark to see the bottom. The barbarian offers to lower us to the bottom with his rope, saying he has a torch which he can light for us to use. Alright, it seems that we have three options to take: accept the offer, offer to lower him down if he's so eager to investigate the pit, or suggest that we instead both jump over the pit. No, I like his plan better. If there is nothing at the bottom of this pit, we can still climb back up using a rope, so that sounds like a good idea. And now the question is rather trust. Do we trust him or not? And I say, let's trust him. Hopefully, if he betrays our trust, we won't break our neck in the fall, and we could get out of the previous trap on our own. So I'm not afraid of being trapped down there, at least. So, but if it works out, then we know that we can trust each other, and that's going to be beneficial for the future. So let's see what happens if we choose that. We tie the rope around our waist and take hold of the lighted torch given to us by Throm, as our barbarian ally calls himself. Okay? Hi, Throm. Taking hold of the slack rope, Throm lowers us slowly over the edge of the pit and down into the dark depths below. We can see by the light of the torch that the sides of the pit are extremely smooth. We drop about 20 meters before hitting the bottom of the pit. Alright, so it turned out great, so at least so far there is no betrayal. There, at the bottom of the pit, we see another tunnel heading north, and now we call to Throm and tell him of our discovery. He calls back, saying that he is going to tie the rope around the protruding rock on the edge of the pit and will come down and join us. Alright? We hear him climbing down, and soon we are together again. Throm retrieves his rope by shaking it off the rock, and we set off north along the new tunnel. Alright, that's great. I guess that was kind of a bonding experience. Another strange obstacle overcome, that's the lack of trust. Let's see how long this alliance holds out. On a stone ledge in the tunnel wall, we see two dusty leather-bound books. Throm grunts his contempt for the written word, urging us to leave the books and hurry on. No, we're not gonna do that, Throm. First of all, we love written word. And second, I kind of feel safe with him by our side, so if there is a trap, then he can help us dispose of it. So we're going to actually read both of the books. Let's start with, well, the first one, the red leather book. As we open the book, it begins to disintegrate and the pages turn to dust in our hands. That's not a very useful book. We manage to keep a few fragments and read the handwritten script. The book appears to be about monsters, and from what we can make out, it contains a full description of a monster called the Blood Beast. It is a horrific bloated creature with a tough spiny skin and facial blisters which burst open to become mock eyes, evolved to hide the Blood Beast's only weak spot, its real eyes. Alright, that already sounds disgusting. I wonder if we're ever going to see this disgusting creature. Blood beasts usually dwell in pools of fetid slime which give off poisonous gas, even more enticing. This gas is so strong that it can easily knock people unconscious. The blood beast, although too bulbous to haul itself out of its slime pool, has a long and vicious tongue, which it wraps around its victims before it drags them into its pool. As the victim's flesh starts to decompose in the vile slime, the blood beast will feed from it. Wow, so they really went full on disgusting on this one, on the scale of disgusting. We tell Throm about the grotesque blood beast, but he merely shrugs his shoulders and tells us to get going. No, my simple-minded friend, we are not gonna do that. We have not yet opened the black book. This one was okay. I mean, it didn't harm us, it gave us some information which might come in handy. So, if the other one is half this good, then we want to take it. Let's see what the black book holds for us. The book's pages are sealed together, but a small hole has been cut in the middle of them, just large enough to hold a small corked bottle containing a clear liquid. We throw it to Throm, who holds up his hand, indicating that he does not want us to come anywhere near him with it. His distrust of things unknown is strongly evident. Alright, we have a few options. We could ignore the bottle and just continue with Throm. Drink the liquid or rub the liquid into our wounds. If it was an ointment or a lotion, I would opt for the second option, but it's a liquid, so I don't think it's a good idea to rub liquid into wounds. Let's drink it and hope we don't die. The liquid is a magical potion which will enable us to detect hidden traps. We gain 2 luck points. That's awesome. Alright, that's something. Our luck is almost at maximum. We are guaranteed to succeed our next luck roll, which is great. And once again, it didn't harm us, so these books were fully beneficial. Let's continue north with Throm. I feel better now. We have gained some information, some luck, and again, it didn't cost us anything. The tunnel turns sharply to the right, continuing east as far as we can see. Throm stops and tells us to halt as well. He turns his head slowly from side to side, listening. "I hear footsteps coming down the tunnel towards us," he whispers. "Draw your sword." We both crouch down to hide in the shadows, and not a minute too soon, for a moment later we see the silhouette of 2 armed figures approaching. Throm jumps up and dashes forward, screaming a loud battle cry. There are 2 cave trolls in front of us. Throm attacks the first one with his battle axe, and we run to his aid to attack the second cave troll. Oh, my dear barbarian friend, why do you do this? We could have let them pass, or even better, we could have prepared an ambush for them, but no, barbarians go berserk, and of course he had to run up to the cave trolls and engage them. Well, at the very least, it's a one-on-one battle between us and the cave troll. I'm not very happy about it. Cave trolls are pretty strong, and we have a skill level of 11. Let's see how this one goes. And yeah, wow, yeah. Alright, and it doesn't go well so far. We're gonna burn a few luck points here. Yep. Alright, so far so good. Yeah. Let's burn another luck roll. We win, and we only suffered 1 hit. That's actually great. Let's see how Throm did. We look to our left and see Throm standing over the cave troll he has slain. Blood is pouring out from a deep cut in his shoulder, but it does not seem to worry him. He does not seem to worry about it. We search the bodies of the cave trolls, but find nothing apart from a bone ring on a leather cord hanging round the neck of one of them. The ring is engraved with a symbol with which Throm recognizes. This barbarian is quite knowledgeable, actually. He explains that it must have belonged to the druids from the north, and that an ancient talisman such as this will increase our powers if our body is able to accept it. Alright? Throm will not touch it and advises us to leave it well alone. Well, I wonder what that means. Probably we need to roll against skill, and our skill is excellent, so let's put on the ring and see what happens. And besides, he advised us against the books as well, and those ones turned out to be great. Right, I was right. As soon as we put the ring on our finger, our whole body starts to shake. Alright, we have a very slow 1 in 36 chance of failing this, so hopefully we pass, and we did. Our body continues to vibrate intensely, and we feel as though we are about to pass out, but our strength is great, and we manage to withstand the tremendous shock to our system. Finally, we calm down and begin to feel the ring's beneficial powers working on us. We gain 3 stamina points. We see Throm looking at us anxiously, so we reassure him that we are fully recovered. He strides off east, and we follow him eagerly. Well, we are not fully recovered, I mean we're at half health point, but after this whole battle, this whole ordeal, it's 1 extra stamina, so I guess that's something. I wonder if this is going to be enough for the remainder of our adventure. But for now we're fine, let's continue our quest. The tunnel leads into a damp, high-ceilinged cavern with a rock-strewn floor. Long dripping teeth like stalactites hang down threateningly, their constant dripping creating milky pools on the floor. The tunnel carries on through an archway carved in the shape of a demonic mouth. Wow, cozy. Alright, we could just... well, it's a typo here. We could head straight for the archway, or we could search the chamber. Let's search the chamber first, because that's why we're here. Maybe we find something. It might be trapped, but, you know... it might also be worth the risk, so let's see what happens. We walk around the cavern but find nothing of interest. Throm calls us behind us, saying that he has found a leather pouch under a pile of rock. Opening the pouch, he laughs out loud as a tiny mouse runs through his fingers and scurries off into a crevice between 2 boulders. Suddenly, we hear the sound of cracking rock above us and look up to see stalactites breaking off the roof. Throm's booming laugh, which still echoes through the chamber, has made the stalactites vibrate and break off. We yell at Throm, that's not a very clever idea, but we yell at Throm to run through the archway as the stalactites start to crash to the floor. Alright? I don't know why we need to yell, that's probably making our situation worse, but let's test our luck. We have just burned a lot of luck points, so let's see if this works out. And we got lucky. That's fortunate. We are now down to 9 luck. Sometimes the game doesn't detract luck rolls for some reason. Despite the stalactites crashing all around, we manage to dash through the archway without injury. We look round and see Throm thundering towards us, one arm over his head for protection. He dashes into the tunnel and leans against the cold wall, panting heavily. He apologizes for starting the rockfall and offers us his hand to shake. We tell Throm that maybe he should use sign language in the future, even for laughing. We both smile and head east once more. We are really funny little guy. We are like a joker, hilarious. Anyway, we managed to get out of this pickle, and yeah, our luck stat is now at 9. I don't think it deduced 1 point. This app sometimes makes an error like that, but I don't think it's going to be of much consequence anyway. So let's proceed. The tunnel ends at a large oak door. Throm wastes no time in testing the handle and is somewhat surprised to find the door unlocked. He pushes it open and walks into a torchlit chamber. Sitting alone on an ornate chair is a dwarf who bids us enter the chamber. As we do so, the oak door swings shut behind us. "Adventurers, you have done well to get this far," says the dwarf in a deep voice. "However, as you both know, there can only be one winner in the Trial of Champions. As Trial Master, it is my duty to Baron Succumbit to let only the most able continue. Therefore, I must devise a test of wits and strength to eliminate one of you. Please do not attempt to dispose of me. It would be utterly pointless, for, as you can see, there is no obvious way out of this chamber, and only I know where the hidden exit lies. Now, if you would care to decide between you who will go first, I shall make the necessary preparations." We look at Throm, suddenly angry that our effective partnership might come to an end. Yes, he was actually a quite useful ally. He leans over and whispers in our ear that we should try to kill the dwarf and worry about the exit later. Alright, this dwarf is cool. Um, I don't think it's a good idea. This guy's clearly prepared. First of all, I think he's telling the truth, so obviously he knows the secret exit, and even if we might be able to find it, I'm also quite sure that he's protecting himself in other ways as well, so we are not going to... well, at least I don't want to attack him, so we are not going to join Throm, and we cannot just sit aside. That would be kind of interesting, seeing if Throm attacking this dwarf alone. But that's not an option, unfortunately, so we are going to persuade Throm, or try, to go through with the dwarf's test. We tell Throm that there is no point in killing the dwarf, as we will never find our way out of the chamber alone. We argue that an opportunity of tricking the dwarf may arise later. That's actually clever. Once we have found the exit from the chamber, so we intend to go through with the dwarf's test. Right, so once the exit is found, we might dispose of him if we want to. We tell the dwarf that we are ready, and he beckons us to follow him, telling Throm to wait for his return. A secret door opens in the chamber wall, and we follow the dwarf into a small circular room. He closes the door behind us and hands us 2 bone dice, telling us to throw them on the floor. We roll a 6 and a 2, a total of 8. The dwarf asks us to roll again, but this time we must predict the roll. Will it be the same or higher or lower than 8? Alright, this is really stupid. There is no way of predicting that, kind of. But judging by probability, we have a 21 out of 36 chance to that it will be lower. That's 58.3%. And only a 28% chance of that it will be higher, and the remaining is for 8. Actually, the most likely outcome is 7, because that's 3.5. You know, that's the median for each die. So we're going to guess that it will be less than 8, but you know, it's not like we can tell. So let's see how it goes. We have guessed that the total will be less than 8. There is only one way to find out, right? And we rolled a 7, so that we got lucky here. The dwarf congratulates us for guessing correctly. He tells us that we must now progress to the second stage of the test. He reaches for a wicker basket and tells us that a snake is held within it. He tips up the basket and the snake drops on the floor. It is a cobra, and it rears up in the air ready to strike. The dwarf tells us that he wishes to test our reactions. Barehanded, we must grasp the cobra below its head, avoiding its deadly fangs. We crouch down on the floor, tensing ourselves for the moment to seize it. Okay, it's a test roll. Sorry, it's a skill roll. It's a skill test, skill attribute test, which is great because our skill is 11, so we have a 1 in 36 chance of failing it, which we still can, but we don't. Wow, we rolled a 3, so that's great. With lightning speed, we thrust our hand out and grip the cobra just below its open mouth. We lift it up and, arm outstretched, dangle it in front of the dwarf. He doesn't flinch, but says in his calm, expressionless way, "Please put the cobra back in the basket and prepare for the final part of the test. Follow me." We do what he says and follow him back into the chamber where Throm is pacing up and down, obviously ill at ease. We wave to him while the dwarf opens a second secret door and tells us to walk on through and wait for him. How many secret doors does this chamber have? At least 3, right? So one that we were in, this second test, or third test or whatever, and the exit. And also the entrance, so at least 4 doorways. Weird. Again we comply and we find ourselves in another circular room, although this one resembles a small arena. The floor is covered with sand and a small balcony runs around the arena wall. Opposite the secret door by which we entered is an ominous-looking wooden door. Suddenly we hear a shout and we look up to see the smiling dwarf standing on the balcony. He throws 2 pieces of paper down to us. On one of them the word "No crop is" are written. The words "no crop is" are written. On the other, ruin mode. In his ever calm voice he says, "If you rearrange the letters of the words, you will find the names of 2 creatures. You may choose which to fight in my arena of death." I wonder if he named it Arena of Death. He doesn't seem to be a very humble guy. Alright, we have 2 options. We could fight a scorpion or a minotaur, and I'm not going to go for the scorpion because scorpion fight might be tricky. Minotaurs are strong, but they are not at all dangerous in the sense that they don't have any special tricks up their sleeves. They're not poisonous, venomous, they're not magical. They're just strong. If you recall our very first adventure, the Minotaur was not a very formidable opponent. Yes, it's strong, but it's actually weaker than a cave troll that we just beat. So I'm hoping that this is the case here as well, and the scorpion might have some nasty surprises for us. So we're going to fight the Minotaur, but that will have to wait until the next time, because I'm going to make the cut of the video right here. I thank you all for watching, and I hope that you join me for the rest of this series. Bye bye.